Ghost marriage. Extreme malice of goo sorcery in the Miao region. Zhao, the half-immortal, and I exposed Ning Kei's true identity. We were knocked unconscious by him. When I woke up again, I found myself bound by Ning Kei, and the scene in front of me scared me so much that I dared not speak for a long time. At this moment, I saw Ning Kei using human rice sorcery to collect human oil from the two people in the corner, regardless of their pleas. Ning Kei remained unmoved. At that moment, I noticed that he had also brought over the dried corpse. What is he planning to do with it? Ning Kei held a small bottle of human oil and smiled at both of us. See this? This is the signature rose essential oil of our shop. Both of them are human traffickers. I caught them to use as labor in the oil fields, considering it a service to rid society of harm. Upon hearing this, I advised him to stop while he still could. But Ning Kei was completely crazy at this point. He brought the human oil to us and said, "No more nonsense, drink the oil. I have already planted rice for each of you once. When your faces look like mine, you can save yourself and save me in passing." Suddenly, there was a bang, and the chubby Zhang Qiming broke in through the door. He was holding a cell phone and shouted loudly, "I am your grandpa, Zhong Kui, the Celestial Master. Who dares to act unruly here?" Ning Kei saw someone trying to cause trouble. Ning Kei quickly rushed up. Just as he was about to collide with Zhang Qiming, a figure suddenly darted out from behind Zhang Qiming. A solid blow struck Ning Kei on the head. It turns out that Miao Qianqian brought Li Shan over. This Li Shan is also an old customer of mine. We are all friends, and when brothers are in trouble, it is only right for them to help out in the arena. When I saw them coming, I quickly called Li Shan over to help with untying them. This time, I was indeed reckless. Fortunately, Miao Qianqian was observant and followed behind us quietly to save us. Otherwise, who knows what trouble we might have gotten into. I then walked up to Ning Kei and said, "Let's leave it at that. Let's not escalate the situation." Ning Kei showed no intention of struggling anymore at this point. He just asked if he could hug little Xian one more time. I nodded. I agreed to his request. Later, Ning Kei tremblingly walked towards little Xian. He gently stroked her hair. Seeing this scene, I suddenly felt something was wrong. He even offered incense and worshipped little Xian at the temple, holding some strange ceremony. This can't be real, can it? The next second, Ning Kei bit his lip. He kissed little Xian on the face. It turns out that little Xian, who was originally wet, unexpectedly became a corpse. He was very excited when he saw his lover come back to life, Ning Kei. But little Xian, who came back to life, was confused. She didn't know where she was and realized that she had died. She was puzzled by how she was alive again. Ning Kei excitedly embraced little Xian and murmured, "My dear, I saved you. You've come back to life. In this world, no one can ever separate us again." Upon hearing this, little Xian appeared very anguished. She trembled and clutched her head, asking in a shaky voice, "No! Please kill me quickly. Who did you learn the evil curse from? That person is so evil. He is deceiving you. I will turn into a zombie." But Ning Kei had worked so hard to resurrect her. How could he possibly kill her? He smiled and said, "I will not kill you. I want to be with you forever." Little Xian looked at Ning Kei's determined eyes. She suddenly revealed a grim look and said, "Then we can only die together." Ning Kei, however, did not pay attention to it but instead cautiously embraced her. Upon hearing this, little Xian's breath completely changed. She fiercely bit into Ning Kei's shoulder. But Ning Kei held her even tighter, unwilling to let go. He wanted to be with little Xian forever. Seeing this scene, Zhao, the half-immortal, couldn't help but sigh. In this world, there is no such thing as coming back from the dead. Zombies are just remnants of a person's soul attached to a body, ultimately turning into bloodthirsty monsters. He turned people into zombies, and now he must reap what he sowed. But Ning Kei did not feel regret. Lying in a pool of blood, he simply said, "Enough, let's die together. If I can bring you back to life and say one last sentence to you, I am willing," he said before taking out the lighter from his pocket. He threw it at the two human traffickers. The two human traffickers instantly burst into flames, and the fire began to spread to the surroundings. We quickly ran out. Ning K tightly hugged little Xian and said happily on his face, "My dear, this way we can be together forever." The woman sought momentary pleasure. She appeared on the street in the early hours of the morning, holding her own eyeballs. At this point, it has been nearly half a month since the incident of Ning K and the zombie. We have only just managed to detach ourselves from this eerie and terrifying event. I also deeply realize my own shortcomings in terms of abilities. There are too many bizarre and terrifying things in this world. I really don't know when I might meet an untimely death. So I brought Zhao, the half-immortal, to partner up with me and handed him the photo of the tree where Chen Lei was hanged years ago. Zhao, the half-immortal, took the photo, glanced at it, and exclaimed that it was wicked. The pagoda tree nurtures ghosts. The old pagoda tree has complex patterns with all sorts of strange shapes, but those that form human faces are somewhat frightening. I looked at the pagoda tree in the photo, and didn't come up with anything either. At this moment, a woman walked over and greeted us. The woman introduced herself as Su Taojua, wearing black-framed glasses with dark and heavy eye sockets. She looked exhausted and expressed that she hadn't had a good night's sleep for over a month. She came here after hearing that some illnesses that ordinary doctors couldn't cure could be treated here. At that moment, Zhao, the half-immortal, who was standing beside me, said. The woman was hunchbacked as if there was someone lying on her back. Zhao, the half-immortal, instructed me to pay attention. I also found Su Taojua's behavior somewhat strange. Tentatively I asked, "It seems like you are a doctor as well. Normally, you wouldn't believe in such unconventional practices like ours. Why don't you tell us what's going on?" It turns out Su Taojua is an ophthalmologist specializing in retinal corrective surgery. A month ago, she had a medical accident while performing surgery on a client. The man may have had a lateral canthoplasty surgery, and his eyelids are very thin. When the eyeball expander was installed, the eyelids were blown out, and two eyeballs popped out. The human eye is connected to the extraocular muscles. Even if it falls out, it can be remedied by quickly putting it back into the eye socket. However, the man struggled too hard, and we couldn't hold him down. We missed the best chance for rescue. Later, his eye, along with the brain, got infected and died. Since that day, she has been having nightmares every day. She dreams of digging out her own eyeballs and tearing them apart. The feeling is really terrifying. After hearing the whole story, I also understand now. That being said, it should be the ghost at her back that was messing around. Su Taojua asked if I noticed anything different about her. I was startled for a moment, then observed her carefully for a while, but didn't notice anything different. At this moment, Su Taojua suddenly widened his eyes and said in a terrified manner, "I can't open my eyes. The dead man is lying on my back, reaching out to hold my eyelids down, like a speculum preventing me from opening my eyes. I'm close to death." One more thing, I am clearly an ophthalmologist specializing in correcting nearsightedness, yet I am wearing glasses. This is already quite strange. As for the reason, let me tell you now. Hearing her say that, Zhao, the half-immortal, and I both looked over at her. I saw Su Taojua take out a feather. She rubbed it against the tip of her nose a few times. A sneeze came out and her eyeballs popped out, hitting her glasses hard. This scene really scared both of us. Her eyeballs popped out just from sneezing. But Su Taojua seemed to be used to it. She quickly pushed her eyeballs back and adjusted her glasses, saying, "Now you understand, don't you? The ghost holds my eyelids open, so I can't close my eyes. Whenever I sneeze, without the protection of my eyelids, my eyeballs will pop out. I must wear glasses to keep my eyes covered and prevent them from falling out." After listening to Su Taojua's explanation, Zhao, the half-immortal on the side, suggested that this was a case of ghost possession, intending to take your life. Usually, when possessed by a ghost, they cover a person's eyes with their hands, a phenomenon known as veiled by a ghost. But in your case, the ghost is holding your eyelids open, causing you to sneeze and potentially die. This is indeed quite a strange occurrence. Su Taojua asked me while applying eye drops. Now that the cause of the illness is clear, can it be cured? I thought about it, and finally decided to tattoo her with a Yiksha image. The fierce eyes of Yiksha will scare away the ghost behind her, so the ghost won't dare to possess her. And Yiksha is a righteous deity's pattern. It's not my ancestral spirit-infused tattoo. I don't need to capture Yin spirit in the picture either. Simple, no risk, just drive away evil. It's better not to touch the spirit-infused tattoo for now. Su Taojua also has no objection. After negotiating the price, I took Su Taojua into the tattoo studio. Then I started the tattoo. Time passed quickly. The sun sets in the west. Su Taojua's Yiksha pattern has also been completed. After she got dressed, she waved goodbye to me. What I didn't expect was that she still died in the end. But she didn't die at the hands of the ghost from behind. It has nothing to do with the Yiksha pattern. She died by her own hands. A week later, I saw Su Taojua on Zhang Qiming's phone. She is holding 2 eyeballs in the video. She has a creepy smile on her face. I got so scared that I threw away my phone. This person is indeed Su Taojua, but this is too scary. According to Zhang Qiming, this video has recently become very popular in their supernatural circle, and is called Urban the Slanted-Eyed Woman. Zhang Qiming thought I was interested in this matter, and thought I might be interested in these things too. He wanted to invite me to go with him another day. But I don't have time to play with him. I pushed him away, and told him to go away. A few days later, Su Taojua's sister, Su Taoyao, found me. Su Taoyao immediately expressed that the recent uproar in the city about the slanted-eyed woman is her sister. I am somewhat puzzled. Did she come over specifically to tell me this? So I asked, what about her sister? I didn't expect Su Taoyao to shake her head and say, her sister passed away. Upon hearing the news of Su Taojua's death, the 3 of us were all taken aback. Later, Su Taoyao began to explain to us in detail. Human eyes are sunk in the eye sockets, allowing us to see about 120 degrees of view. Fish have 180 degrees of vision, while the compound eyes of flies can see almost 350 degrees of view. However, when human eyes are outside the eye sockets, they can actually see almost 360 degrees of view as well. Su Taojua accidentally opened up this perspective and became addicted to it. She believes that it is a full view that can transform ordinary people into deities. She calls it the God's Eye view. And she never thought about putting her eyes back from beginning to end. The day she asked me to help her tattoo to exorcise evil spirits was just to not be controlled by those evil spirits and enjoy the God's Eye view freely. Haunted tattoo of love's resentment requires killing the beloved person and taking their soul as a vessel to tattoo this image. Zhao, the half-immortal, introduced a guest to me today. His name is Sui Yu, a famous internet streamer who specializes in portraying Lady Yu online. As soon as we met Sui Yu, he immediately wanted to perform a segment of Farewell My Concubine, which is their ancestral craft. When I was a child, my grandfather loved watching operas. He often said that opera is like life, and life is like a drama. Sometimes he even shed tears while watching. It's indeed rare to have the opportunity to see such magnificence up close today. Sui Yu performed a segment for us on the spot. His hand gestures were strong and powerful, and he sang while shouting in a vivid and lifelike manner. Zhao, the half-immortal, and I watched from the side and clapped enthusiastically. The Shangxi opera style is truly extraordinary, lingering in our minds for 3 days without end. After the play, Zhao, the half-immortal, began to discuss the purpose of this visit. He said that there were some issues with the feng shui of your house. Sui Yu took off the wig and expressed that it's not the house that's wrong now, it's me who is wrong. Have you ever tried falling asleep and suddenly feeling lighter while lying in bed, as if your soul slowly leaves your body and wanders around? Even when daydreaming during the day, I am like this. I have thought about it. This may be the phenomenon of the soul leaving the body, which many people have experienced, especially children. Once they get scared, they may feel confused and disoriented all the time. In such cases, it is necessary to seek a shaman to call back the soul. This situation may be caused by bad feng shui or negative energy intrusion, but it's not a big problem. Therefore, I decided to tattoo an exquisite pagoda carried by the pagoda-bearing heavenly king to suppress his soul. I took out my tools and was ready to help him with the tattoo, so I asked him to take off his shirt. But he appeared very nervous upon hearing me ask him to take off his shirt. Seeing his strong reaction, I was also somewhat puzzled. How can he get a tattoo without taking off his shirt? Moreover, why would a few grown men feel shy about it? That's how Suiyu hesitantly took off his shirt. He revealed the face tattoo on his chest. The moment I saw the tattoo, I couldn't help but pause for a moment. With a whoosh sound, I pressed the tattoo needle against his throat and asked, "How did my Chung family ancestral haunted tattoo of love's resentment end up on you?" I didn't expect Suiyu to turn around and ask me, "Mr. Chung, is there an ancestor named Chung Sun in your family?" Chung Sun is actually my grandfather. He is the one who created this haunted tattoo of love's resentment. You better tell me where you got this tattoo from. Upon hearing this, Suiyu sighed. I didn't expect to encounter a descendant of the Chung family here. It seems like it's all fate. The connection between our two families goes back to the previous century. In the 18th year of the Republic of China, during the drought in Shaanxi, his grandfather Su Qingyuan was a famous figure in the Republic of China, a respected nobleman, but also a renowned actor in a turbulent era. Even landlords without food had to flee the famine. Without food, his grandfather tried to preserve the Su family's descendants. His grandfather then cut flesh from his own body. Did he feed his own flesh to his grandmother? When he was in dire straits, his grandfather met a noble person. He also knew he was close to death. His wife and their unborn child would not survive either. But when he saw that person, he felt a glimmer of hope. So he knelt down and begged that person to save his wife. And that person was my grandfather, Chung Sun. My grandfather saw that Su Qingyuan was willing to cut his flesh to feed his wife and child, and felt that he was also a compassionate person. So he agreed to help. However, he could only send him away, and could not support his wife and child for a lifetime. Su Qingyuan is a smart person. He knows that his skills are invaluable, and that he can start anew wherever he goes. However, without his wife and child, even if he escapes poverty, he cannot make a living. So, he made a decision before he died. He asked his wife to flay his skin. Legend has it that by flaying the skin of a top actress, making it into a shadow puppet, the puppet will come to life and perform just like a real person, even singing on its own. It became a priceless treasure that everyone sought after. He had also long heard of Chung Sun, who had the skill to paint landscapes and tattoo ghosts and gods. So he asked Chung Sun, considering they both were skilled craftsmen working in similar fields, to tattoo a ghost tattoo for his wife, Haunted Tattoo. The reward for this tattoo would be repaid by performing opera. He asked Chung Sun to tattoo his soul on his wife, turning it into a tattoo to protect her, enabling her to perform opera and survive, ensuring the perpetuation of the Su family lineage. Chung Sun is not ignoring the haunted tattoo. It's just that there are rules in our profession. It is taboo to tattoo souls, as it goes against the natural order. Besides, Chung Sun did not appreciate opera at the time. Even though he was a renowned actor in the province, it didn't matter. So Chung Sun declined this business proposition. He then turned around and resumed painting. But Su Qingyuan was unwilling to give up. He drew his sword and said, "I have a performance that can only be sung once in a lifetime. It is something that others will never hear. Even those who do not appreciate performances will be captivated. It is definitely worth having you, sir, tattoo it for my wife." After saying this, he began to play dual roles by himself, holding a sword and singing, "Farewell, my concubine," the actor's final performance, enduring through the ages. This song, "Farewell, my concubine," vividly portrays the desolate end of the tyrant. When singing the part, "The Hegemon King suicide at Wu River," Su Qingyuan suddenly raised the sword in his hand and slashed his throat, self-kissing. Blood dripped from his neck as he continued to sing with a mournful intensity. After watching this scene, Chung Sun was deeply touched and tattooed this haunted tattoo. Su Qingyuan's wife also relied on this tattoo and later became a famous actress. This spirit-infused tattoo has been passed down and became a stable source of income for their Su family. But I know that the malicious aspect of this haunted tattoo is that one must kill their beloved in order to tattoo this image. Therefore, in each generation of the Su family, they inevitably kill their other half. Being exposed on the spot, Su Yi remained calm and said, "In our family, generation after generation, we seek out terminally ill individuals of the opposite sex, trying to please them until they fall in love with us. Then, we wait for the moment of their imminent death to claim their soul." Human skin doll. Soul extraction spell. Covering one's ears while stealing a bell, changing the heavens and earth. I have learned that the Su family for generations has been seeking individuals of the opposite sex suffering from terminal illnesses, gaining their favor, and killing them to extract their souls at the moment of their imminent death. Zhao, the half-immortal, was so angry that he trembled all over and cursed. "You are simply scum. Even with a terminal illness, nobody would behave as despicably as you do." I held the tattoo needle against his neck and coldly said, "Back then, when the Su family gave you the spirit-infused tattoo, it was meant for honorable purposes. But now, seeing it being used for evil deeds, I have no objection to taking it back." Su Yu's eyes filled with tears as he chuckled and said, "Mr. Chung, there is something else I want to tell you. The tattoo inscribed on my body is for my girlfriend, Little Snow. Little Snow has leukemia. I originally intended to deceive her into falling in love with me, but in the end, I found myself falling into it. That period of time was the happiest time in my life." Later, I told her everything truthfully. Kind Little Snow, knowing that her life was short, actually agreed to my request and was willing to become my tattoo. So I secretly let her swallow sleeping pills to kill her and take her soul. Now she is here with me, accompanying me at all times. Since that's the case, I won't take the haunted tattoo that's on you. Let Little Snow's Yin spirit continue to protect you. However, the original manuscript of your haunted tattoo must be given to me. This thing cannot be passed on to your next generation." Later, Su Yu took out the wrinkled piece of human skin and handed it to me. He said that our lineage would end with me, which is fine. The art of traditional Chinese opera has declined in this era, and there is no need to rely on this craft for a living. I nodded. I then placed the human skin into the toolbox. At this moment, Su Yu asked me impatiently, "Can we proceed with tattooing the pagoda-bearing Heavenly King exquisite pagoda for the dissociation syndrome we mentioned earlier?" I replied, "Let's take one step at a time. This exquisite pagoda is a righteous pattern. I asked him to have a seat first." I picked up the ink tube and was about to tattoo him, but I had just started preparing. I heard a few cries for help. Help! He is not Su Yu, I am. He tattooed me on his stomach. It's actually that face mask begging for help. Seeing this scene, I couldn't help but get goosebumps all over. Su Yu saw that I hadn't stitched for a long time and asked me what was wrong, but I was just in a daze. The face mask unexpectedly returned to its original state. So I quickly said, "It's nothing," and started tattooing. This reminds me that my grandfather seemed to have mentioned some past events before. He said he was fascinated by watching dramas because life is like a drama, with actors covering their ears and stealing the bell, changing the heavens and the earth someday. There is a soul extraction spell in this world, where one first peels off their own skin to make a doll, then asks an expert to help transfer their soul into another person's body, and eventually squeezes the other person's soul into the doll, thus taking over the other person's body. This sinister technique will harm oneself more than others. The person who survives using the soul extraction spell to take over another body will have a lifespan of only 7 to 8 years at most, as the mismatch of souls is inevitable. Human Skin Doll Soul Extraction Spell. Could it be that Su Qingyuan peeled off his own skin, claiming to make shadow puppets for his wife to sell for money, but actually used his own skin as a doll, deceiving his grandfather, and embedding his soul into his wife's body? Isn't this a type of soul extraction spell? What a cunning deception. No wonder the grandfather later laughed madly watching the puppet show. He must have realized that the pregnant woman he took out was clearly Su Qingyuan himself. Thinking about this, I forcefully calmed myself down and tried to fish for some information. I cleared my throat and asked, "Could you tell me what happened to Su Qingyuan's wife later on?" Su Yu turned his head with a sly smile and said, "Later on, Su Qingyuan's wife, Bai Shuixue, went back to her parental home. She displayed outstanding singing skills and became the backbone of the opera troupe. Her wrist strength was also extraordinary. She quickly climbed to the top ranks of the family and helped expand its influence. Later, Bai Shuixue gave birth to a child and, relying on her amazing wrist strength, completely took control. The Bai family engaged in internal strife in secret, using ruthless methods to eliminate opponents. In the end, the family patriarch raised the banner, and the Bai family changed its surname to Su. The grand foundation of the Bai family was ultimately destroyed by Bai Shuixue, a woman from the Bai family. From that day on, there was no more Bai family, only Bai Shuixue. After returning home, she passed away suddenly after 7 years, dying young. After hearing the whole story, I fell silent. I thought it was indeed the soul extraction spell that resulted in her soul and body not being in harmony, only living for 7 years. However, in just a short 7 years, she actually rejuvenated the entire Su family lineage. It's truly a terrifying method. So the person in front of me is not really Su Yu at all. Thinking this, I tentatively asked, "May I ask for your surname?" He glanced at me, stood up and put on his clothes, replying, "My surname is Bai Little Snow. Please advise." Upon hearing this name, I suddenly realized everything. So turning my head, I said, "You are the branch of the Bai family that escaped, Su Yu. You intended to deceive and kill, but you ended up outwitting him and took his soul. By having me tattoo an exquisite pagoda, you aimed to suppress the soul of Su Yu." "That's correct. If that's the case, please give me the paper doll containing Su Yu's soul. Let's put an end to this once and for all. Let's end the grudges between our families here." Bai Little Snow chuckled twice and agreed. Later, I got the paper doll made of human skin from Su Yu. I am prepared to burn it to assist his passage to the afterlife. I didn't expect that at this moment. Su Yu unexpectedly appeared in the mirror. He bowed repeatedly to me and Zhao, the half-immortal, thanking both of us. "This matter is my own decision. Please don't make things difficult for Little Snow. My grandfather actually left behind some powerful methods to prevent retaliation from the Bai family, but I am useless. If Little Snow is harmed, the Bai family line will truly be severed by us." This statement was also heard and taken to heart by Little Snow outside the house. At this moment, her mood is very complex. And then, Su Yu continued, "Little Snow, if you continue borrowing my body in the future, you can only live for 6 or 7 more years. Is there really no other way?" "No." Listening to me, there's no self-blaming from Su Yu, saying I have harmed him. This was a tragedy from the beginning. The hatred passed down for 100 years can end with me, which is good. At least she can live worry-free for another 6 or 7 years. Brother Chung, burn me. I want to reincarnate. I didn't say much this time. I just put his paper puppet into the brazier. Have a safe journey. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. This century-old feud has finally come to an end. This is a strange hair salon. Haircuts cost only 6 yuan, but wigs are priced at 50,000 yuan each. Shortly after the Suiyu incident, Miao Qianqian introduced me to a business deal, saying that her dad's friend, Sir Zheng, from the underworld, mentioned that his son, Zhang Tianing, has recently encountered some bad luck. Seeing a hair salon these days where you can get a haircut for just 6 yuan, even Zhao, the half-immortal, couldn't help but exclaim that it's a conscience in the industry. When the owner of the hair salon saw a few of us standing at the door, he came out and asked if we wanted haircuts. Miao Qianqian said, "We are here to find someone. We heard that you are the landlord. The person we are looking for is on the 2nd floor." Upon hearing this, the boss smiled and said, "You are looking for little Ning. Just go up from here." After thanking the boss, we walked towards the 2nd floor. Miao Qianqian was also not polite. She opened the door with a bang and shouted, "Zhang Tianing, I heard you don't even spare cats." Frightened by Miao Qianqian, Zhang Tianing was suddenly flustered, even dropping one of his slippers from his feet. He hurried to explain that he didn't do it and asked Miao Qianqian not to speak recklessly. Miao Qianqian is also quite outgoing. She picked up the kitten and jokingly said, "Your dad said you've had some bad luck recently. That's why you look so haggard. This flower cat might even turn into a human and bother you. It's truly a troublesome little Yogwai spirit." Unexpectedly, when Zhang Tianing heard this, he excitedly snatched the kitten and cradled it in his arms, saying, "Flower and I truly love each other. Even if he is a Yogwai, he is a good Yogwai. Every time it is late at night, he appears in front of me and talks to me. We only developed a relationship after deep understanding. It's not as dirty as you said." I was speechless to see his reaction, but Miao Qianqian had already gotten used to it. She said, "You have seen it too. This kid has already been blinded by love. Sir Zheng asked us to come and see what's going on." Zhao, the half-immortal, looked at this kitten and also felt somewhat strange. This kitten is not an old cat, and it doesn't have any evil aura. It shouldn't transform into a demon, right? Later, I looked around the house, searching left and right. I found what seems to be a hidden attic behind the cabinet. The moment I pulled open the hidden attic, a woman covered in black hair all over her body rushed out. She howled and pounced towards me. Fortunately, Miao Qianqian was quick-witted and used a stun gun to shock her unconscious. With a loud thud, as the long-haired woman collapsed to the ground, Zhang Tianing exclaimed in shock, "Flower, how can there be 2 of them? I see, he's really bewitched." Immediately explain that this monster impersonated your cat, hid in the dark attic of the room, and then came out pretending to be a cat to absorb your yang qi. I didn't expect Zhang Tianing to rush over and throw himself on the long-haired woman, saying, "Even if she is a master Yogwai, don't kill her. I like her. Don't separate us. Flower is actually very beautiful and kind. I love her." Seeing this scene, even Miao Qianqian couldn't help but sigh. He is truly a person filled with deep affection. At this moment, Zhao, the half-immortal, seemed to have discovered something terrifying in the dark attic. He kept retreating in fear, exclaiming how malicious it was. Truly malicious. This is a strange incense hall. Above it, there is an embalmed human head on display. The sunken and darkened eye sockets of the embalmed head looked as if they had been exposed to the sun for an unknown duration. However, the hair on the head was very dense. Shiny and smooth, this is the ghost hair spell, also a type of Gu technique from the Miao region. Using the Yin energy from ghosts and corpses to cultivate hair. That hair can move like a living creature and can help bald people grow hair, but this method is extremely malicious. When it comes to hair, Zhang Tianing immediately thinks of Zhao Rong's hair salon downstairs. Haircuts are very cheap there, but the wigs cost 50,000 yuan each. Could they be produced there? I also think it's possible. This is the long-haired woman who was just shocked by Miao Qianqian. Flower woke up. Miao Qianqian immediately prepared to shock her again. She was so scared that she hurriedly kowtowed and pleaded for mercy, claiming she meant no harm. "Please spare me. The real culprit is the old man downstairs. He is also my father. It's because of him that I turned out this way. I furrowed my brows. Your father? The hairstylist downstairs, Zhao Rong? Yes. He is just a freak. The barber shop owner, with a kind face on the surface. He used witchcraft behind the scenes to murder his wife in order to make money, and placed her head on the incense altar. He also turned his daughter into a monster. He instructed her to absorb the tenant's yang qi. At this moment, tears welled up in Flower's eyes as she began to speak about her own origins. This story starts from many years ago with my mother, Li Shan. She was also the first victim. My mother suffered from hypertrichosis, also known as werewolf syndrome. Many people looked down on her because of this condition, so she had no choice but to marry Zhao Rong, a lazy and greedy man. Zhao Rong thought he had married a monster and would either hit or scold her. Later, he learned some dark magic, the ghost hair spell, from an unknown source. This spell required finding a person with excessive body hair to cast a curse, and then collecting hair from corpses in the graveyard that hadn't decomposed yet. Because after a person dies, the hair and nails of the body continue to grow, making them the best materials for casting curses. Zhao Rong mashed the stolen hair from the corpse into a sauce. Rub it on the fur of the kittens, and the fur will quickly grow long and smooth like human hair. Then, cut it off to make wigs and sell them for big money. My mother became the first experimental subject in this way. The experiment was successful, and my mother's body started to grow hair. However, without a man nourishing the woman goo of the ghost hair spell, the nutrients in her body would quickly be lost, causing her hair to wither. The vicious Zhao Rong naturally did not want to touch my mother again. So, he brought some beggars and wanderers to come over. Later my mother was tortured beyond recognition, her hair turned white, and she lost all her value. Her belly was also getting bigger day by day. Zhao Rong thought that the baby born would also be worthless, so he let my mother give birth to me and continued to abuse me. The bastard is still using my mother's body to cultivate corpse hair in order to make money. He grinds it into powder and smears it on me. He also makes me hide in the dark closet to seduce the men staying here. We have listened to Flower's background. Miao Qianqian is so angry that her teeth itch. She couldn't help but curse. This old bastard. He looks friendly and amiable. I didn't expect that he turned out to be a complete demon. Zhang Tianing put his coat on Flower. He comforted Flower, saying, "Flower, come with me. I will take care of you." But Flower pushed him away, indicating it was futile. "You guys go," she said. "He uses the hair from his heart chakra to make voodoo dolls, practicing Southeast Asian black magic. My fate is in his hands. I can't escape." The scene even moved Xiao, the half-immortal. Turning to me, he said, "I know the rules of your master of the occult. Flower's payment I have covered. Hurry and get the tattoo." I asked for Flower's birth details, and after some consideration said, "Your destiny element is earth. Tattooing the Kirin, the sacred beast of fire, which represents the element of fire, can dispel evil spirits and bring divine protection. The dark curse should be resolved. Shave off the hair on your back, and I will do the tattoo for you." With the help of Miao Qianqian and others, Flower's back hair was quickly shaved off. I also started the tattooing process. 3 hours later, the auspicious Kylan pattern was completed. I asked Flower how she feels now. Flower expressed feeling like a string had been broken. When I heard this, I breathed a sigh of relief. That means the dark curse is gone, and he can no longer control your destiny. When he heard that Flower was fine, Zhang Tianing excitedly embraced her. At that moment, a hurried footstep was heard downstairs, accompanied by furious roars. Who dares to sabotage my plans? Anyone who blocks my path to wealth will die. It seems that dark curse has been discovered after blocking his plans. Upon seeing this, I immediately ordered Zhao, the half-immortal, and Zhang Tianing to block the door. I asked Qianqian to take Flower and jump out of the window first to escape. Miao Qianqian also has a decisive personality. She casually threw the stun gun to me. I caught the stun gun steadily. I took a glance at the large door about to be smashed behind me. I thought she really helped a lot this time. A few strands of hair suddenly seeped in through the door crack, looking really creepy. This is the hair ghost. I quickly took a few steps back. Then I suddenly took a big step forward. I stabbed the stun gun on Zhao Rong's neck. The electric current sizzled. Zhao Rong screamed a few times, and then fell down. Seeing him fall down, Zhao, the half-immortal, and Zhang Tianing breathed a sigh of relief. I didn't expect that Zhao Rong actually stood up the next second and said fiercely, "What a guy, daring to ruin my plans! Go to hell." With that, he flipped his palm. The hair ghost transformed from hair attacked us. It tightly bound us, making it impossible for us to move. Zhao Rong is simply inhuman. Even after his wife died, he still turned her into such a sinister hair weapon. Zhao Rong ignored my words. He scanned the room and found Flower had run away. He turned around coldly and asked, "Where is my daughter? I raised her so painstakingly for so many years, and yet you let her go. Since you are causing trouble for me, don't blame me for being impolite." Just as Zhao Rong was about to manipulate Hair Ghost to silence us, the skull enshrined above the incense altar suddenly flew up with a swish and landed behind Zhao Rong. The next moment, the dense mass of hair turned into spikes and pierced Zhao Rong directly. The Hair Ghost lost control of Zhao Rong, and the entanglement of our hair also loosened. We looked at Zhao Rong lying on the ground. I know he was counterattacked, and Li Shan killed him. Perhaps it is because Flower ran away. Zhao Rong cannot threaten his own life either. Li Shan killed him without any scruples. However, despite that, it is not advisable to stay here for long. Let Sir John handle the rest. Things have come to this point. It can also be considered as having a satisfactory ending. Later, I heard from Miao Qianqian that the matter was settled by Zhang Tianing's father, Sir Zhang, and Zhao Rong was arrested by the police as a murderer. Zhang Tianing also took Flower away, and the two of them lived together from then on. However, Miao Qianqian's playful nature is quite strong, as she actually brought back the wig made with the ghost hair spell. Although this wig costs 50,000 yuan each and looks extremely lifelike, just the thought of how it is made makes me feel nauseous. I asked her to quickly put it away. I didn't expect that at this moment. A voice suddenly came from outside the door saying, "I'll take this wig. Here is a 20,000 yuan deposit. I will transfer the remaining 30,000 yuan to you later." Both Miao Qianqian and I were shocked and speechless. We looked up, and it turned out to be Little Snow Bai. How did she get here? Little Snow played with the newly bought wig in front of the mirror and said, "Last time I saw you, you had a deadpan expression. You are a descendant of Master Cheng. I cannot stand by and watch you get into trouble. Tell me what is going on with you." Talking about this matter, I can't help but feel nervous too. So I made up an excuse and sent Miao Qianqian away. Then I handed the photo of Chen Lei hanging on that tree to Little Snow and said, "It's all about the hanging pact from childhood. Those few people involved all hanged themselves. But in the past half-month, I didn't pay attention to it, and nothing happened." Little Snow took the photo, looking a bit solemn, and said, "You think nothing has happened, but you're actually close to death. Someone has cast a spell on you. Those who died before were just a prelude. You may be the final piece. You still know nothing. It seems your grandpa didn't teach you much. He probably didn't want you to get involved in this. I didn't expect you to come in on your own. Someone is out to harm you, and that person is hiding very well. Maybe they have secretly switched souls like me." With that, she stood up and put away the photo. With a bang, he slapped a walnut on the table. He leisurely turned around and left. I picked up the walnut and observed it carefully, finding that it was very exquisite. There was also a bell and a talisman hanging underneath it. I gently shook it, and the bell made a crisp ringing sound. The Buddha said, 1,000 people, 1,000 faces. Everyone has a unique appearance. But this woman is the face of all sentient beings. Her face embodies all the emotions and expressions of living beings. Today another business came in. The customer's name is Imosiasi, a doctor who has a patient under her care. From her descriptions, the patient's symptoms seem very strange. I'm afraid one person alone can't handle it, so I called in Zhao, the half-immortal, and by Little Snow. According to Imosiasi, this patient is very peculiar. Once she falls asleep, she dreams that she has turned into someone else, and lives through months or even years of another person's life in her dreams. According to her, she has experienced hundreds of years in her dreams. When I heard this, doesn't it sound like Inception? Before entering, Imosiasi reminded us. You should be mentally prepared for what you are about to see next. Then she slowly opened the door. She said to the people inside, Chinyu, someone has come to see you. When we saw Chinyu's expression, all three of us involuntarily took a few steps back. It's not that Chinyu's face is particularly scary, but rather strange in a way that gives people an uneasy feeling. She has the sharp features and thick lips of a man, as well as the charming phoenix eyes of a woman. Frowning as if angry, her phoenix eyes crescent-shaped as if smiling. Her left and right eyes looking in different directions, showing various expressions of sadness and joy in a very discordant manner. It's as if numerous faces have been kneaded together, which is quite scary to look at. I'll ask Imosiasi to wait for a moment. We have something to discuss, and we'll go out for a bit. We'll come to her office later to find her. Later we found a secluded corner and started discussing. Zhao, the half-immortal, said that just by looking at appearances, he could recognize 1,000 different fates like Chinyu's, each unique. However, the fear is that no matter which fate it is, it may not be her own. By Little Snow also said that this woman has the compassionate appearance of a bodhisattva, like Avalokitesvara bodhisattva with 1,000 hands, 1,000 eyes, and 1,000 faces. Neither distinctly male nor female, expressing both joy and sorrow, her face embodies the myriad expressions of sentient beings. One flower, one world. To be able to dream of the suffering of sentient beings within dreams, could it be that this Chinyu is a reincarnation descending to Earth, a compassionate living Buddha saving the world? No, she is practicing an ancient evil technique from ancient Indian Brahmanism called Shivaic sorcery. Shivaic sorcery is used to awaken wisdom and intelligence, pretending to be a divine reincarnation. Shiva, the god of destruction, is the origin of Shivaic sorcery, which involves a woman engaging in relationships with multiple men to absorb a portion of their souls and memories through physical contact. With countless memories, one gains the wisdom of hundreds of years and embodies the essence of all living beings. Upon hearing this, both Xiao, the half-immortal, and I couldn't help but take a sharp breath. This Shivaic sorcery is indeed malicious. By Little Snow mentioned that this type of soul sorcery, found in Tibetan Vajrayana Buddhism, also exists. It's known as the reincarnation of living Buddhas, where the soul of the previous Lama is consumed by the next generation after the former's death. This method is gentler, as it only retains memories from one person and does not cause confusion. Upon hearing this, I also thought of Chinyu, whose father, Chen Beihai, is a very famous entrepreneur in the city. I heard that Chen Beihai was in poverty before the age of 30, but suddenly had a breakthrough after turning 30 and soared to success. In just 10 years, he accumulated a lifetime of wealth that cannot be spent. There is clearly something suspicious about this. Zhao, the half-immortal, thinks that it might be a revenge from a competitor who cast an evil curse on his daughter. By Little Snow, on the other hand, suggests that there may be another possibility, but it could just be me overthinking. But guessing blindly here won't help. Let's go back and find that doctor. She probably has many things that she's hiding from us. Later I went to Imosiasi's office and asked straightforwardly, Dr. Imo, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Chinyu has a rather chaotic lifestyle and has been in contact with many people, right? The people in her dreams are all those who have had relationships with her. Their memories have entered Miss Chinyu's mind. Listening to me say this, Mociosi suddenly showed a faint smile. You can even see this. We really didn't choose the wrong person. That's right. Miss Chinyu has severe nymphomania, and those who have relationships with her all have varying degrees of amnesia. Do you have any treatment methods for Mr. Chung then? Yes, but the materials are a bit difficult to obtain. I need a clean piece of human skin from the back. Mociosi stood up in surprise upon hearing that the desired item was human skin, then confirmed again, human skin? And received a definite reply. Mociosi pondered for a moment with his chin in hand, then said, Mr. Chinbeihai has a large medical business. There should be no problem with this. I will talk to him and have it delivered to you as soon as possible. It's worth mentioning that Chinbeihai is indeed efficient. The next day, he managed to get the human skin for my back that I needed and had it delivered to me. I spread out the skin he set on the table. This time, the tattoo I'm getting is a Baku, the dream-eating beast, a mythical auspicious creature known as a demon-quelling eater of nightmares that devours evil dreams. Zhao, the half-immortal, asked me a puzzling question. Why not just tattoo it directly on Chinyu as usual? I explained while tattooing that this is the reverse tattooing technique. Baku originally does not require a Yin spirit as it is a righteous pattern, but after devouring a Yin spirit nightmare, it transforms into a spirit-infused tattoo. Therefore, the Baku image infused with a Yin spirit should not be kept on the body, but must be removed. Please close the door, and do not let anyone disturb me. After finishing, we need to quickly head to the hospital. Subsequently, carrying the tattooed Baku image, I arrived at the hospital room. I asked Chinyu to lie down and expose his bare back. Chinyu quickly took off his shirt, turned to me with a charming smile, and said, Just the back? If needed, I can take it all off. Surprised by his words, I quickly reassured him that only the back is necessary. I couldn't help but inwardly sigh at the terrifying nature of sex addiction. Later, I covered Baku's picture on Chinyu's back, and a large, fiery red bird flew out. With a big mouth, it stripped all the Yin spirit from Chinyu's body and swallowed it into its belly. Chinyu also let out a painful wail. Seeing her in such pain, I knew that the tattoo was taking effect. The memories and soul fragments of others within her are being eaten by the Baku bird, and at the same time, her face is slowly returning to normal. Wait for all the Yin spirit on Chinyu's body to dissipate. Baku's illustration also turned into a spirit-infused tattoo. I carefully collected it. Suddenly, the television broadcasted breaking news. Renowned entrepreneur Chinbeihai announced his retirement during a speech. During the live broadcast, Chinbeihai faced the media and said, I know that there is a master in the hospital right now who has saved my daughter and resolved the long-standing knot in my heart. I have done many good deeds over the years, but I have never been able to make up for the guilt I feel towards my daughter in my heart. When I was young, I was impoverished. Later on, I obtained a not-so-good method from an Indian monk to enhance my eloquence and emotional intelligence. My business prospered, but it harmed my daughter. When these words were uttered, the reporters in the audience instantly exploded with questions. They asked him why, as someone known for his eloquence, he was stuttering at this moment. Is there a earth-shattering secret? Chinbeihai did not explain much, only saying that his daughter has been saved. He announced that from today onwards, he will retire from the business world and donate 90% of his assets to a charity fund to be managed. After reading the entire report, I turned to look at Chinyu. At this point, Chinyu had returned to her original state, but still looked uneasy. She was very grateful for my help in solving the problem, but did not want to talk about other matters. She mentioned that the medical expenses would be transferred to my account later. Since she didn't want to say more, I didn't feel it was appropriate to ask further questions. After exchanging a few brief pleasantries, I left. Before the age of 30, the man was impoverished and destitute, but after turning 30, he suddenly became enlightened and transformed into a business genius. In just 10 years, he earned a wealth that is difficult for most people to reach. All of this is because he used Shivaic sorcery from India on his daughter. When Baku possessed him, Chin Beihai immediately announced his retirement and said a bunch of inexplicable things. Now, Mocsi finally sees through Chin Yu's tricks. It turns out it was all orchestrated by his own father. He turned his own daughter into a promiscuous woman with 1,000 writers to absorb others' memories and wisdom in order to turn himself into a business prodigy. I even comforted her when Chin Yu's nymphomania flared up. It seems that my wisdom has also been stolen by that grandson of Chin Beihai. I was also startled to hear that Mocsi had a relationship with Chin Yu. However, Mocsi didn't seem to mind much, saying that helping patients solve their worries and difficulties is our duty as doctors, and there's no need to hide anything. In any case, now that the situation is resolved, it's good for everyone. I'm tired. I'll go back to the office to rest first. With that, she waved to me and walked away. I watched her leaving figure with some speechlessness, thinking that there are really all kinds of strange people in this world. After a while, it suddenly occurred to me that I hadn't given her my bank account information yet, so I hurriedly caught up with her. I found that the door to her office was not closed, and I heard a strange sound. Following the sound, I saw Mocsi crouching in the corner, as if gnawing on something. I approached for a closer look. Mocsi was holding a finger bone in his hand. She was smiling with dull eyes. Saliva kept flowing out continuously. It was truly terrifying to watch. Afterward, I found Mocsi nibbling on a finger bone in the office. Speak out about it. Miao Qianqian only feels nauseous, and Zhao, the half-immortal, also stated that Chin Beihai cursed his own daughter to become like this, making him a scum. I can't believe there are such perverts in the hospital. By Little Snow paused and asked if we remember what she said about the living Buddha reincarnation soul swallowing the first time we met Chin Yu. But is there any connection between the two? By Little Snow said, that thing is also called finger bone relic in the mouth of Buddhism. Eating finger bones is one of the rituals. It is very likely that she absorbed someone's memories and soul into her own body. Upon hearing this, I sighed deeply. Witnessing both the ancient Indian and Tibetan evil curse in a single day is quite enough. I really don't know what secrets Mocsi is hiding again. Who has she taken into her stomach? I didn't expect that I hadn't finished asking this question yet. Miao Qianqian stood up with a whoosh sound. She confidently stated, I know that the soul eaten by Mocsi is here. Upon hearing her say that, we all couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Zhao, the half-immortal, reminded her not to speak recklessly, but Miao Qianqian argued with reason, saying, Didn't brother you say that the Dr. Mocsi had a relationship with Chin Yu? In that case, a part of her memory and soul would naturally have been absorbed into Chin Yu's body. If there is another person's soul in Mocsi's body, then this soul will be eaten by the Baku picture and transferred here. At the sound of these words, I stood up abruptly. I suddenly realized in an instant. I picked up the Baku picture and prepared to take a look. A needle pricked down. The Baku picture indeed had a reaction. A man's spirit. It slowly appeared in front of us. I quickly asked him who he was. He said his name was Zhou Xian, and he is Mocsi's boyfriend. Upon hearing his identity, I couldn't help but be stunned. How did you die? Why does she still choose to imprison your soul within her body? Ironically, I was killed by Mocsi herself. Mocsi has a terrifying possessiveness. She suspected me of cheating, so she actually drove a car to hit me, then used her connections to send me to her operating table. She killed me on the operating table, and then ate me. She said that this way she could be with me forever. After hearing the whole story, I was shocked too. Mocsi turned out to be so ruthless. I asked Zhou Xian if we should help report to the police, but Zhou Xian said it was unnecessary. After she consumed my soul, she also gained access to my memories and realized I had not cheated. Overwhelmed with guilt, she suffered from nightmares every night and felt that living was worse than death. I believe my revenge has been served. You should go back first. Your Yin spirit cannot linger outside for too long. As for how to handle your Yin spirit, I will figure it out later. Zhou Xian nodded, thanked me, and then slowly returned to the picture. After some time, Miao Qianqian heard the news that Mociosi had lost all memories about Zhou Xian. At this, I couldn't help but sigh. It's rare to have it all, neither disappointing the Buddha nor you. Peace under heaven, fortune at first sight. Hearst customer service. Ghost sedan chair. Early in the morning, Li Shan came over with his girlfriend, Little Chui. I could see that Little Chui's forehead was dark, which seemed strange and ominous. I quickly invited them in. According to what Li Shan said, they have a roommate named Little Rong. There were usually no conflicts, but a few days ago, when they came back from work, they heard that she died in bed and had been taken away by an ambulance. Strange things happened in the following days. Just as I was about to ask what strange things had happened, Little Chui, who was sitting on the chair, suddenly revealed a strange smile. She then took off her coat and said, "Come on! Have fun!" Li Shan helped Little Chui cover his coat while saying to me, "You see, ever since Little Rong passed away, Little Chui occasionally acts like this, suddenly bumping into things as if possessed by Little Rong. Little Rong used to be in the flesh trade business. I suspect that Little Chui has been possessed by this lascivious ghost." I slapped Little Chui's face abruptly. Little Chui finally quieted down for a while. I didn't expect that when she turned her head again, she had a look of enjoyment on her face and asked me if I liked SM. She suddenly grabbed my hand and asked me to do it again. I didn't know what to do in this situation. I am just a tattoo artist. You all treat me like a yin-yang master. Isn't this making things difficult for me? At this moment, I suddenly remembered the bell by Little Snow gave me. Immediately, I turned my head, opened the box, and took out the bell. I pressed the bell onto Little Chui's head with one hand. The Yin spirit attached to Little Chui's body let out a painful howl the next second. With a swish, the Yin spirit flew out of her body. Looks like the things left behind by Little Snow are really extraordinary. Just don't know what that red gloomy wind was just now. For the lifelong happiness of my brother, Zhao, the half-immortal, and I came to the neighborhood where Li Shan and Little Rong lived together to see if we can find any information. As soon as we arrived at the entrance of the neighborhood, we saw the security guard not far away burning ghost money while murmuring, "Great compassionate Guanyin Bodhisattva, it was my greed for the hearse passing through. The living must avoid it. You are the woman that Yama King enjoys. It's my fault. I couldn't resist. Please don't come looking for me. I will burn more incense and ghost money for you." I immediately sensed that something was amiss. The security guard should know something. Zhao, the half-immortal, and I exchanged a glance. I went up and handed him a cigarette, asking, "Brother, I have a question for you. A girl named Little Rong died in this neighborhood. Do you know what happened? My buddy Li Shan lived in the same house as Little Rong. They are in a bit of trouble now." The guard at the door was immediately excited when he heard this. He smacked the cigarette I handed him and said in a frightened tone, "They are in trouble. It must be the soul collector taking lives." Go, don't ask me. I don't know anything." The door of the guard booth slammed shut with a bang, leaving me stunned. However, Zhao, the half-immortal, saw some clues and indicated that this person clearly had done something wrong and had a guilty conscience. Your attempt to get close to him is useless. Zhao, the half-immortal, cleared his throat and intentionally or unintentionally shouted towards the house, "I have foreseen a calamity in this place. There will be great misfortune due to heavenly wrath and human grievances." But some people refuse to accept the good intentions of the poor Taoist. So be it. Waiting for the evil spirits to come seeking, they will surely meet their fate in the underworld. Have to say, Zhao, the half-immortal's skills are quite useful indeed. I just finished saying this sentence. Then the guard opened the door. Then he timidly asked, "May I ask who you are, sir?" Zhao, the half-immortal stepped forward suddenly, wearing a serious expression, and said, "Young brother, your forehead is darkened. Recently, a great disaster is about to befall you. Your energy is weak, drained by a woman. Am I right? I'm afraid you will die in a short while." As soon as he said this, the gatekeeper was completely panicked. With a thud, he fell to his knees, pleading desperately for Zhao, the half-immortal, to save his life. When I saw this, I couldn't help but give a thumbs up to Zhao, the half-immortal. Impressive. Shortly after, the gatekeeper respectfully invited us into the house. He began to tell us about Little Rong. It turns out that this gatekeeper, named Little Zhang, had once pursued Little Rong, who was originally a factory girl. However, Little Rong did not reciprocate his feelings. Later, Little Rong started dating a boyfriend named Brother Chong, and their relationship was very good. They spent all their time together. But later, it was heard that Brother Chong was a scumbag. Not only did he deceive Little Rong of her money and body, but he also took her naked photos, threatening her to engage in the flesh trade. Upon hearing this, Zhao, the half-immortal, and I both stood up excitedly and cursed that Brother Chong was not human. Listening to me, Little Zhang actually stuttered a bit and said, "Those guests that Brother Chong asked Little Rong to attend to might really not be human." When Little Rong was alive, every late night Brother Chong would arrive to pick her up in a three-wheeled vehicle. The three-wheeler was very eerie, bright red and glamorous, like a sedan chair for a distant relative's wedding. The only difference was that there were two wooden plaques hanging on both sides of the vehicle, one with "Peace under Heaven" written on it, and the other with "Fortune at First Sight" written on it. The most incredible thing was that there was a bed inside the carriage, covered with flower petals and emitting a unique fragrance. People were enchanted and filled with excitement, itching to act. In the early morning, Brother Chong will bring Little Rong back. Strangely, every time Little Rong returns, he is covered in bruises and red marks from being beaten. Upon hearing this, Zhao, the half-immortal, couldn't help but take a deep breath. "Peace under Heaven, fortune at first sight." Aren't those the two wooden tablets held by the soul collector Black and White Impermanence when they collect souls? Little Zhang lowered his head and continued, "I don't know where Brother Chong takes the car every time he comes to pick up people, but I'm sure he must be taking them to the underworld to be offered to Lord Yama King. These customers are not human, they're ghosts." What did you do after you mentioned your momentary greed? Suddenly being asked by me, Little Zhang is clearly feeling a little guilty. He stuttered and said, "Brother Chong comes into the neighborhood every night to shut me up, tempting me to get in the car with Little Rong, such a beautiful woman that I've never touched in my life. That's why I ended up with the woman from Soul Collector." Here, Little Zhang knelt down with a thud, begging Zhao, the half-immortal, to save his life. He kept arguing in his mouth, "I think any normal man would do the same. Little Rong is too beautiful. I pursued her before, but she refused. Now that happened to her, I couldn't help myself but—" Zhao, the half-immortal, pushed away his hand and asked, "Your forehead is dark, as if drained of vitality. You've probably been overeating tonics recently to nourish your kidneys. How many times have you lied to me?" Little Zhang was first startled. Then he lowered his head, feeling somewhat guilty, and said, "Basically, Brother Chong takes Little Rong out almost every day. I will get on the car when you come to me. I am Little Rong's first customer every day. I heard that Little Rong was pregnant while on the train and later had an abortion. I don't know if it was my child. I heard up to here. Zhao and I, the half-immortal, are both itching with anger. This person is just scum. It's only right that they die." Upon seeing us, Little Zhang hurriedly grabbed Zhao, the half-immortal's corner of his robe, and earnestly begged, "Great immortal, Little Rong's death has nothing to do with me. It was all Brother Chong's instigation that led me to this point. Little Rong has turned into a ghost and has already begun to retaliate against the two people who shared the same apartment with her. Once those two people are dead, it will be my turn. Great immortal, please save me," Little Zhang said as he knelt down, kowtowing vigorously. It seems that he is even more diligent in kowtowing than in paying respects to his own ancestors. Zhao, the half-immortal, looked at him with some disdain and said, "Go back. We are here to resolve this matter." Upon hearing this, little Jean was instantly moved to tears of gratitude. We had walked quite a distance away, but he was still there waving his hands. However, for scum like him, we cannot save. Such a person who aids the enemy is only getting what he deserves. Unable to catch up to Little Rong, he joined the ranks of the aggressors. Truly, he is no better than a beast. However, that hearse is obviously not that simple. Inside, it is decorated as a wedding car, and even has a sign of black and white impermanence. Could it be really taking souls to the underworld to be enjoyed by the Yama King at night? Regarding this, Zhao, the half-immortal, said he is also not clear, but worshipping the Yama King is impossible. It might be some kind of ritual or something. Just as we were about to go to Little Rong's dormitory to check the situation, suddenly a voice came from behind shouting Zhang Qiming's name as he ran towards us. Then he made a very middle schooler expression saying, "Brother Yu, where is the ghost? I can't contain my immense power anymore. I must vanquish the demons and ghosts." I told him not to worry, the ghost is upstairs. He will have a chance to show his skills soon. At the same time, I couldn't help but sigh in my heart that it was indeed the right choice to tattoo a Zhongkui catching ghosts pattern on these two silly guys. The heart of man is more evil than that of a ghost. What is goodness, and what is evil after all? After going upstairs, I used the key Li Shan gave me to open the door. At the moment the door was opened, a strong foul smell rushed over, making me feel nauseous. Zhao, the half-immortal, pinched his nose. He said with a disgusted look, "Indeed suspicious. Little Rong may have body odor, and it's particularly strong. The room is filled with this smell." I followed the direction of the strongest smell, and found Little Rong's room. Zhao, the half-immortal, suggests that some women who have a body odor that tends to sweat easily are said to have a peculiar smell called box odor. The intense fragrance in front of me might be emitted from Little Rong's bodily fluids, likely some kind of bewitching spell to seduce men. In ancient times, women with fox odor were feared by everyone, which stimulated the development of a kind of witchcraft. There is a medicine called the flesh-healing pill. Taking a bath with this medicine can turn body odor into a pleasant fragrance, emitting a deadly feminine scent. The sweat scent produced can even induce romantic feelings. It is said that beauties such as Yang Guifei and Shishir have used it before. However, it is said that the medicine bath is particularly harmful to the body. The medicine that makes women sweat in that way can penetrate deep into the bone marrow. Little Rong's death may be related to this medicine bath. But the fact that it is labeled with black and white impermanence is puzzling. Just as I was talking with Zhao, the half-immortal, Zhang Qiming fumbled to open a cabinet. I didn't expect to find a woman hidden inside. With a thud, she ran towards us. She was a middle-aged obese woman, probably weighing around 200 caddies, emitting a strong smell of sweat. She also had a bunch of keys hanging around her waist. It seems that she should be the landlord who came to inspect and tidy up Little Rong's room, but ended up being possessed by Little Rong's unjust spirit. Just saw this fat woman straddling Zhang Qiming, about to have some fun with him. This scene is really exciting. Even Zhao, the half-immortal, is deeply intoxicated by this amazing sweat smell and can't extricate himself. I initially wanted to wake him up. I didn't expect this sweat smell to actually rush towards me. I was almost enchanted by it myself. Good thing I reacted in time. I kicked the fat woman off Zhang Qiming with one foot. I exposed the Zhongkui catching ghosts pattern behind him. Ghost catcher, help me exorcise the ghost. Evil beings, don't be so presumptuous, accompanied by the thunderous sound of Zhongkui. The female ghost trembled all over. A red shadow dashed out wildly, screaming in extreme panic. "Why won't you leave me alone? You're going too far by chasing me here. Are you despicable people here to get rid of me on Brother Chan's orders?" With a swoosh, The red shadow disappeared at the window. She got away. I felt a bit sorry about it. But Zhao, the half-immortal, said, "Is it bad that she got away? Can we defeat her if she stays here?" I've thought about it, and it seems to make sense. However, our Zhao the Immortal seems to have been in a bit of danger just now. Making such a joke about Zhao, the half-immortal, makes me feel a bit embarrassed. Cough's getting old, not as spirited as before. But speaking of that female ghost, she should only be able to return to her corpse by now. We need to find some time to go check out the cemetery over there. But before that, we still need to make a trip to the pet store. Later, I went to the pet store and bought a fox to bring back. Li Shan asked me if buying a fox to bring back was to exorcise demons. I said it's partly right, but not all. It is said that there is a debtor for every debt. Little Rong was killed by Brother Chang. I wonder if Little Rong avenges herself, would she be able to rest in peace and be reincarnated peacefully? Upon hearing this, Zhao, the half-immortal, also understood my intention. He stood up with a swoosh. He asked me if I was going to help that evil spirit harm people. I let out a long sigh. I expressed my own opinion. Evil spirit? What is an evil spirit? Killing demands a life in return. It's only fair. The heart is more evil than a ghost. What is good, and what is evil after all? When I asked him like that, Zhao, the half-immortal, instantly became discouraged. He said slowly, "You are right. Brother Chang is truly a demon worse than pigs and dogs. Helping Little Rong to avoid causing harm to the world can be considered a good deed." Later, I poked the little fox's nose to indicate that foxes belong to the 5 fairies of the Northeast, who are typically known for being enchanting and seductive. This fox has not had its anal glands removed, so the foxy scent is still present, which coincidentally fits the characteristics of Little Rong's body fragrance. I am planning to give it a tattoo. Let Little Rong's spirit merge into the pattern spirit, so that Little Rong can take the little fox to seek revenge. Half an hour later. This tattoo is done. Rakshasi Ghost Tattoo Pattern. In Buddhism, Raksha refers to demons. This creature is extremely ugly looking. The female one is extremely beautiful. A stunning woman full of enchanting seductive power tempts others. This kind of ghost is very much in line with Little Rong, a seductive female ghost. After I put away the tattoo tools, I picked up the little fox and said, "I will give you a spirit-infused tattoo to grant you a great opportunity. Later, if Little Rong appears on your body, you must seek revenge for her and fulfill her wish so that she will obediently serve as your tattoo. May the Yin spirit in the tattoo bless you. Do you understand?" The little fox seemed to understand and let out a squeak towards me. Miao Qianqian and Zhao, the half-immortal, who were on the side, witnessed this scene. Both of them felt amazed. Indeed, she is the fox fairy. All preparations are ready. We are going to the cemetery to find Little Rong now. When we arrived at the cemetery, it was already dark. I walked ahead with a flashlight and searched for quite a few. We finally found the tombstone of Chun Little Rong. But before we could get close to the tombstone, a red light flashed not far away. The red light suddenly attached to Miao Qianqian. She is controlling Miao Qianqian's body. Her gaze is bloodshot. She snarled at us with bared teeth and waving claws. "Why don't you even give me a chance for revenge? Are you also here to catch me?" I advised her to calm down. "I am here to help you seek revenge. As the saying goes, those who have committed wrongs will have a master to settle scores. You shouldn't go harm other innocent people. Go seek revenge from the right person." I didn't expect that she started crying when I spoke. Do you think I don't want to, Brother Chang? Guilt comes with doing too many bad deeds. Not only does he have a dozen bodyguards around him all the time, but he also went to the temple to ask a master for an amulet and placed a Bagua mirror in his house. How can I seek revenge on him? Seeing this, I quickly spread my hands and pointed to the little fox on the ground, saying, "Don't worry, I'm here to help you. Your cultivation is too shallow. Without physical harm, you can't hurt others. I found a fox for you, tattooed it with Rakshasi Ghost tattoo on its back. If you go inside, you'll be able to seek revenge." Upon hearing this, little Roan's eyes lit up, and she looked down at the little fox. With her eyes gleaming red, she said, "Rakshasa Ghost, this fox is also naturally spiritual. What a righteous and open-minded plan. So be it. If I can avenge my enemies, the rest is up to you to handle." Accompanied by little Roan's departure, Miao Qianqian also fainted. At the same time, a remarkable scent began to emanate from the little fox's body. Turning around, it left behind a sentence. "If this enmity can be resolved, I will definitely come back to repay the great kindness of Yin Yang Master." After saying that, she burrowed into the bushes. A few days later, news reports came out with the message of Brother Chang's death. According to eyewitnesses, a fox was seen entering the scene, adding a mysterious touch to the case. I'll be right back.